before I read Before Agreements. Yeah, that's the first book I read. I forgot all about it though. I can't even recall anything of it. I gotta tap back into that one. But like a lot of what's in the Mastery of Love is almost similar, just obviously different author, different philosophies, but the way of a superior man, like that book is like a blueprint how you should approach relationships and within yourself and your goals and life work balance. And like that, and also for I reference this book to women too. Like, you know, if you have a transactional man or insecure man and you're tired of dealing with those type of men, read that book and it will easily identify the type of man that you need, because that book really confirms like a man, like a legit how a man should be. That's why the book's called The Way of a Superior Man, not a weak man, not a transactional man, not an insecure man. But we all have those like traits in certain different aspects of insecurities. But do you want to be like that all your life, or are you trying to work through those things, you know, to be able to like be the man that everybody tries to say they are. Like everybody tries to be like, I'm an alpha, shut up. Yeah, be quiet, because
red pill.
Yeah, red pill or like blue pill. Like if we have like a real deal conversation about some shit, or you know, let events and situations show you in a relationship, and it will show you that you're not what you think you are. Like you're trying to show this image that you're this and that, but then when times get tough or your girl takes a picture with a celebrity, now you want to get in your feelings. So you're not a man. Like you're still a little boy. Like, and it's fine. Like, you know, everybody has their own insecurities, but you gotta work through it. And like that book, The Way of a Superior Man, put things in perspective. That's the first book that I read fully, that Nipsey Hussle referenced. And I remember like reading that book, and that's what kind of framed the way I am in my relationship right now because of that book. And I mean, I think that book did a lot of great things, which was having the respect for myself, and then my woman having the respect for me based on those philosophies of like, you know, how a man should be, which is like loving with no conditions, try their best to not judge. I mean, I still do, you know, there's certain moments where my emotions might get the best, but it's so rare though. Like it's like once every blue moon like that I might get triggered, but I instantly come back and be like, hey, that's on me. Like that's not you. Like that was my emotions talking. That was my insecurity or something in the past that happened to me in a relationship that I'm doing to you. Like, you know, a lot of guys don't do that. A lot of guys will just blame it on the woman. Like, you made me do this. You, right? But it's like, no, it's you. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta look in the mirror. And so that's what I did, and that book does that for you. Like, really makes you look in the mirror and basically like take accountability, because you got all the power. You're the man in the relationship, right?
Exactly.
And like you don't have to be an actually gendered man, but like the superior person. Like you are the conscious one, the more aware one, especially as men too. Like you are very, very naturally born logical, but doesn't mean you're not emotionless. You still have emotions, but our brains are, and like the male body and the way evolution was, like you have this primitive thing of like a hunter, gatherer, nurturer. So like, you know, if somebody breaks into your house, you're gonna step up to the plate. You gotta take the initiative. You're gonna be proactive. The women are made to, I don't want to say made, I'm sorry, like the women's role from back then, and as a man in the relationship, you're supposed to be the protector. I mean, yeah, we try to. Also, there's a lot of pros and cons with that. We always try to fix shit. Sometimes we don't just listen to the like. Sometimes women just want to be like listened to, heard. Let them gossip. Let them talk about work and stuff like that. But then we're so logic. Like we're like, how about you just stop talking to her? Like stop talking to that person. Just leave the room. Like no. Like sometimes they just want you to listen. And like sometimes like that's my struggle with my lady too. I'm just always trying to give advice. I'm trying to be the fixer to the problem. Sometimes they just want to be heard. So, and then that's where like that balance of your logic and emotions have to come into play. Understanding your woman, understanding women, but most likely like what benefits you is understanding by observing and seeing what they need, by asking too. Like sometimes I'll ask Selena, not all the time, but I'll tell her like, do you want me just to listen, or do you want me to like give you advice? Because sometimes I'll just try to listen, and she'll be like she'll stop talking and she'll look at me And I just won't say nothing. She's like, you got nothing to say? I'm like, sometimes I don't know if you want me just to listen or if I should say something. Because when I say something, it's sometimes I'm too blunt, like too honest. Because I hate seeing people who I love struggle or like have these like mental barriers that's causing them stress or something. For me, logically, is like no reason. You don't have to deal with that. You know, you can just walk out the room. You know, you can just turn off the phone. You know, you don't have to reply. You know, what's understood doesn't have to be explained. You don't have to debate. You don't have to do these things. But sometimes they love that. So it's like, you got to let them be and just like, I'm here when you need something. So like if you need some advice or you want to actually work through this or how it's going is going good, then, you know, by like, what was it called? Like bygones be bygones. Yeah.
A week. Well, welcome back to Self Revelations. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to keep
that was
going.
Good though. We were going in.
It was so good. It was so good. I'm putting that all in there too.
That was good though.
No, welcome back to Self Revelations. It's your boy B-Dab.
And I'm Juan Moreno.
We're back at it like a crack addict. I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, we're back. You know, it's been a long 2 weeks. We kind of wanted that last episode to kind of sit and resonate with you guys. Got a lot of good positive feedback from that, and I feel like that was the one that we kind of needed to let sit. I know how you kind of talked to me and expressed how, you know, important that one was to you, and I feel like that one had a lot of gems in it as well. So I'm letting it to sit, and you know, the views were high. It was higher than some of our other ones, just letting it sit for
and the feedback though.
Yeah,
there's a lot of messages that we got back, even like on the TikTok pages or Instagram. Like we did get a lot of individual messages, like this podcast. Like a lot of the comments that we get too, they were like, oh, I wish people would talk about that type of stuff more. Or like not just like what I talked about, but what you talked about. It was like it's a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of topics and conversations on that podcast that a lot of people are like, people don't talk about that stuff. So that was pretty good too. The feedback of the episode too.
Yeah, for sure. Finally at 300 subscribers, 300. Bro. 300. We're at 302. I couldn't believe it because I feel like we just 303. I feel like we just got to like 200. Didn't you think it spiked? Like when we got to 200, it got to 300 super fast.
This episode, I gotta look at the metrics, but this episode gained us 30 subscribers.
That's wild. That's actually crazy. And then like looking at the social medias and stuff like that, like I don't know why I was just on there the other day. I was just on there like scrolling, looking at stuff, and I was just like, bro, like from our followers on TikTok. TikTok is amazing, bro. I love that app. And IG, like how fast, like think about 6 months getting it to 3,200 followers. Like that's wild. That's wild. And in all different areas too. So man, the growth is real, bro. And like you said, the feedback. And then I just checked my, you know how you can look and see like all your requests, like your DM requests. I just went in my DM requests and there was a whole bunch of like people like tagging us or like sending messages about the clips that we post. And I didn't even know, bro. Oh, like I wasn't even replying. And I seen them all late and they were like 4 months old, 3 months old.
Holy shit.
It was crazy. But I'm like, dang, like I was like, that's why I wasn't getting no like actual clips on my like personal pages and stuff like that. But it's cool like hearing people and, you know, some of the stuff I post, like some of your clips, like people were hitting me like, oh my God, like bro's been through a lot, or like I love what you guys are doing, and you know, and we're just being us. So and it's not like behind the camera there's like a teleprompter telling us what to say. Like we freestyle, we saying like we're speaking our truths and saying like what we're living like currently. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just amazing to see and amazing to be a part of, bro.
Yeah, I think it provides a lot of value when we speak of like our own personal experience. We're not talking about celebrities. We're not talking about sports or like all these other things. I mean, we love to talk about those things, right? Yeah. But like, I mean, our podcast is definitely based off the conversations that we have of like regular conversations to try to like work through or like talk about our success or some failures or whatever, whatever like mental barriers we have. Like the fact that we are so vulnerable on the podcast, and we're not even like, I mean, I'm like definitely opening up too, and you're definitely opening up a lot too. Like the last few episodes has been. I mean, you've been since the beginning. It's been like each episode you're starting to get. I don't want to say confident, but like you're starting to.
No, confident for sure.
Is it confidence?
Yeah,
I don't know if that was the right word.
It's confidence and comfortability for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you watch like the old episodes, bro.
I don't even want to.
In my opinion, because I'm like hard on myself, atrocious. Because it'll be like some episodes where like he'll be opening up about stuff, and you'll be talking about stuff, and I'm just like, okay,
okay,
no, for real. And I was like looking back at him, I was like, bro, it's so like I go back and watch like hey,
that's hard though. You know what I mean? Because like I don't really see the outside of some of the things that I talk about. That is like I usually get the feedback from other people, even family members. They'll be like, they won't say it like straightforward, but they will be like, man, you talk about some stuff that like basically when I read the energy, they're like, you're saying too much, or like you're putting yourself out there too much, or you're opening yourself to judgment. And so like when I talk about these things too, I think about it like, have you some of the things that I've talked about, have you had conversations with other people that would talk about those things? As a man, actually, not. I mean, I know women are more open. Thankfully, help us.
I've definitely opened up and talked about a lot of stuff with like, you know, like past partners, like you, like my closest friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Jesse, you know, Coop, and talked about things. And I have like, you know, I have people in my circle that are like, I feel like I can talk about anything. I don't feel like there's gonna be any type of judgment. And sometimes even when you feel like there's going to be judgment from maybe your friend, the whole time it's all just in your head. Like you're just thinking that they're going to judge you based off what what you're going to say. In all reality, they might be sympathetic and, you know, be right there with you for support. So it's just all about like actually talking about it. And I think that was the hardest thing for me is like actually coming out of my comfort zone, because you think about when you're talking about stuff on the podcast, it's out there. Like it's on the internet and you're like it's there, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's gonna know. It's like talking about your like everything that you're dealing with in an auditorium full of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a plethora of people that are gonna view that. There's a plethora of people that are gonna see that clip or the podcast or our page. But like you said, like a lot of people are dealing with those same things, so you don't know who you're gonna influence, even if it's only a couple people.
Yeah, there's a clip that I posted yesterday that I was talking about. What'd I say? Something in the words of sometimes it takes like a health scare, a diagnosis, somebody in your family to happen for you to wake up and realize what's really important. For some reason, when I was making that clip, I was like, I don't know if a lot of people are going to relate to this. Or I had like this, like, I was getting self-conscious. I was like, I don't know if I should post this one. I was like, I don't know if it's going to help anybody or if this is going to be of value. And then I was like, you know what, just post it. And I posted it, and then I got a couple feedback from a few people that we know. They were like, man, this hit me right in the feelings. I mean, one of the guys that we know posted it, and he said that in the caption, like, this hit me right in the heart. And I was like, damn, like you sometimes, even I catch myself that a lot of your experience, the things that you talk about can affect one person, like can help one person or hear it. Will bring them back to a certain moment. They were like, damn, I got through that. Or like, you know, I'm going through that right now. Or I know somebody that's going through it. Like our experiences, we have a lot more relatable things that we've been through that a lot of people can relate to when we talk about it. Like they hear it and they understand, wow, I went through the same thing too. Or like they'll message us like, I'm going through that right now. Like our experiences it's a human experience that we're sharing. That a lot of people, not everyone, but most are like going through.
Yeah, facts. It's crazy how much like dang, like you throw out like the stuff that you've been through, you're going through, and you see a lot of people like relate. It's just crazy to see like, damn, all these people went through this too. I'm not alone like dealing with this shit. Like it's just wild to see, and like it's encouraging too. Like, dang, I'm not the only one. You feel what I'm saying? Like especially with a lot of the stuff that we talked about. So it's definitely, you know, and there's plenty more stuff that we're gonna talk about that we haven't touched on. I know, especially with me, you know, stuff that I've talked to you about that we haven't talked about in the podcast. And, you know, I just feel like the sky's the limit for like how much, like our plethora of content that we can create or stuff that we can address to help other people. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like all of the podcasts that we do is timeless. Like, you can go 5 years from now and watch the same podcast and grab some gems from it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's stuff that when I'm rewatching the podcast, like, I'll catch that either I said or you said that I didn't remember while we were recording it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, what we're doing right now is timeless, bro.
Yeah. Also, too, it makes me like, it's easier for me to do this and talk about like my experience too, is because, yeah, I might be going through whatever emotion situation at that time or that episode or that week or that year. But like, you sent me a great quote too that I kind of live by as well, from Carl Jung. He says, like, I'm not what happened to me. And like I'm not my thoughts. You know what I mean? I'm not my emotions. I'm not my situation that happened at a certain time, because life goes on. You know, like, we're quantum beings that are constantly changing and going through, like, we're creating new cells every day. We're shedding skin. Like, we're always like changing. Like, just because I felt a certain way last week doesn't mean I feel the same way now. You know what I mean? Like, that last episode, like, I was like really struggling going through those thoughts and working through it and then talking about it openly within a span of a week. I mean, I've been dealing with that my whole life, but like actually putting it on the podcast and then telling my closest people that had no idea, like sharing that, like, took a whole bunch of weight on my shoulders. Now I don't have those same emotions that I did a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm in it's a whole different day. It's a whole different time. It's a whole different space where I'm at. Like, then that's how I carry myself. So I'm able to talk about these things because at the end of the day, it's not who I am. I might have experienced it. I might have those emotions, but at the end of the day, it's not fully me. I'm constantly changing. So it's easy for me to talk about these things because then it kind of removes the judgment. I'm not really worried about judgment. People are going to say, you know, whatever the hell they want to say. They're just speaking about how they feel about they're giving their opinion. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I could give a fuck about your opinion, to be honest. Like, I really don't. The only people I really care about their opinion is the people that are really, really close to me. But if you have some negative shit to say, like, I just know that it's a reflection of you, not me. Like, it helped me talk about that stuff. And then it also is going to help other people. I'm about that, like, that circle of, like, helping people. Anybody else who has, like, any type of judgment, I created a good, like, boundary of understanding the way how people operate. So it kind of, like, you know, it's not going to get inside my head too much. I might read a negative comment and I might, like, breeze through. I might think about it for like a few seconds, but then I remind myself, like, for a person to say something negative about somebody or to comment or go out of their way to say something negative, I just rather have more empathy and just, you know, who God knows what's going on in their life, to, you know, take the opportunity to put their 2 cents into, like, how my approach or how I live my life. Like, you know, for me, it's like, good luck. You know, I love you. I hope you drive safe. I hope you get home to your family. I hope, you know, life goes well for you, but I'm gonna move on. Like, yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and, like, you know, make myself feel bad for who I am and who I'm trying to be.
Exactly.
You know,
that's how you're using your energy. Like, you on TikTok, Instagram, commenting on 47 accounts, saying anything negative you can say. Yeah. Gender reveal. I'm having twins. Broke nigga, you ain't got no money. Yeah. Like, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, and it's like kind of crazy because it's kind of like the culture of how social media is going. There's like those spam accounts or those accounts that are like being made. Like, people are actually behind those accounts, like, just being toxic because they don't have a face behind it. They're not gonna. There's no consequence for having those type of pages. Like, they're not gonna get punched in the mouth for saying certain things. And, you know, you get put in the actual real life social environment, that person might not say 1% of the things that they say online. So, and, you know, even if it's like something like major, like mocking someone's death or a death in the family or somebody going through something. You know, it's just it's crazy to me to actually see like through our generation, you know, coming up through with us, like, you know, we had MySpace, that was like the start of it, and then, you know, going to Facebook, IG, all that, and just seeing now, like, just imagine a kid like from age 7 on has social media. Like, imagine what that does to their mental health. Like, if they're made fun of, like maybe the way that they dress, or maybe, you know, something like the Tom Brady thing. Like he kissed his son on the lips, and people were talking about that. Like, yo, you kiss your son? Like, bro, that is his child, bro. Like, yeah. Like, come on now. Like, bro, that's his baby. That's his, like, you know, like, that's his loves of his life. That's his offspring, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, and just because that's not like one of your ideals of your family, like, doesn't mean you can just talk about somebody. They were calling him all types of shit online, bro.
I could imagine the comments. I wouldn't even read them. Bro, I was Tom Brady.
And he's probably dealt with that stuff all his career, bro. Yeah. You think about, he's what, 20, how many years has he been in the league?
I gotta be 20. Yeah, I guess what, 22, 23 years.
22 years, 23 years, bro. That's crazy number. That's wild to think about.
Crazy number.
That's wild. You know, but that's easy because shit, nigga don't get hit. If you hit them, bro, you out the game. Yeah, you bro. They throwing flags. Yeah. But no, but yeah, bro. Like, that's, you know, that's one of the things. Like, and to be completely honest, I used to be one of those people like always have something negative to say, or just because of like my environment, who I was hanging around. It was always like even if somebody was like, oh, I want to participate in the talent show, just because I don't know, like, I couldn't go and do that. I'd be like, oh, what you gonna do in the talent show? Like, I try to roast somebody, like, oh, bro, what you gonna jerk in the in the talent show? Moonwalk? Your ass out here, like, you know what I'm saying? Or like try to fry somebody, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I just knew that, like, spreading that hate, like, that doesn't do nothing for me, bro. Like, it's cool if, you know, you and your partners are chilling and y'all just messing around, like, how we shit. Like with me and you, like, how we talk shit, or like me, Coop, or whatever. But if you're like, that's all you do and that's the only thing come out of your mouth, like, bro, do something else productive with your goddamn time. Yeah, come on, bro.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important. You gotta shut out that noise. Like, you have to really be like hone into yourself, and like, that's why for me, like, it's easier for me to do these things too, because I'm very like intentional. Like, I know my intentions. I'm coming from a good place. So if somebody tries to project to me that I'm doing things the wrong way, basically the way that they wouldn't do it. But then again, it's like, you're not really living a free life though. When you judge me, when you say something about me, it kind of lets me know that you're kind of limited on yourself. You're not being fully free. Like, you're kind of, because of what you heard in the movie, or how you were raised, or how you grew up, you kind of aren't like open to being your full self because of what people said. So then you try to, then that inner voice in your head, you try to project it on other people that are trying to be themselves and be free. That's why, like, you know, like, that's why I got a lot of respect for people that are like outside the norm. Not outside the norm. I guess outside the norm is the right word. Like, they don't do society's way of things. And especially, like, the good examples, like, when I think about an artist, I think about, like, Lil Nas X. Like, you think about, like, the stuff that he does in his videos and, like, the music, but then he makes still good music and, like, top the charts and stuff like that. The way he is kind of like, how can you not respect somebody who just doesn't give a fuck? Yeah. Like, not at all. And, like you know, Lil Boosie and stuff like that. I respect Boosie just as much as I respect Lil Nas X. Because, like, they're speaking their truth. They're speaking, like, even, you don't have to agree with it. Even what's his name, Andrew Tate, they canceling him right now. Yeah. And, like, that's the one thing I didn't like. People were like, oh, he's doing this to young boys and stuff like that. Like, well, then that's the parents' fault for them young boys, for them to be influenced by whatever negative thing that you see. It starts with the parents. It don't start with the influencer. Yeah. He's speaking his truth. He's speaking how he operates at this time, his philosophies. Are they true? Are they real? I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. That's not up for me to decide. He's putting it out in the world. And that's why I respect any other person that, like, speaks from the heart, or they have a different view of whatever. it's not up to me to say if it's good or bad. And obviously there's certain things are morally wrong that you don't do, that we as a human society don't accept. But, you know, if you're not killing nobody, if you're not raping women, if you're not, you know, raping anybody or molesting, or you're not doing like, you know, something with like super ill will intent, if you're just speaking words, like, express yourself. That's what like America was supposed to be based off of in a certain ways, like freedom of speech. But now they're trying to take that away, and that's one thing I don't like that. Like, yeah, you know, you want to talk about these things, but when somebody has a counter argument or doesn't have a certain way of, they don't agree with you, well, you cancel them because they don't like what you like, or they don't share the same values. Like, who are you? Nobody to tell somebody what they can't do and can't say. I feel like when you do that too, you limit those people from speaking up. Like, how, you know, somebody might think of certain views, or they might have stereotypes, or they might be biased towards certain things, and they might keep it within themselves all their whole life, and they might not ever have the opportunity to see a different perspective because they're scared to speak up because they're going to get canceled. So it's like, when you don't have these conversations, open conversations, they're never going to be able to look in the mirror and see, is it really true on how they really feel, and if that's the best way how to, you know, they might be misinformed. You know, not every black person with tattoos and dreads is a bad person. Not every Mexican with a white t-shirt and probably some long socks is always a thug. You know what I mean? Like, and like, not every white person that has a button up with a comb over is a smart guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when you don't have these conversations, you're always like shutting people out because they don't share the same view or whatever. Like, you're doing a disservice to everyone. That's why I don't really like the whole canceling thing. Like, if you don't like gay people, you don't like gay people. I don't need to force you to like gay people or not. If you don't like straight people, I'm not trying to tell you to like or not like whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to respect people. You want this respect. You want people to love you and let you be yourself, but yet you don't want to let other people be themselves. Like, fuck out of here. Like, you're a hypocrite too. You're just as bad as the other person you say is racist. Like, you're just equally the same. Like, if you're not letting people express themselves regardless of what they say, but that doesn't mean you still can't have a conversations. I still think you can still have a debate. You can still have talk and share your view, and I think the way you view this is wrong. Exactly. And this, let me tell you why. But I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just trying to express myself. But if you want to engage in the debate or conversation, I think it's healthy.
Exactly.
But to shut somebody out and not give people the opportunity, I think you're doing a disservice to everyone, including yourself.
Exactly. And I like how you articulated yourself with that, because it's 100% true, bro. Like, if you guys both have a difference of opinion and you label somebody as something just because they have a certain, it's like, okay, let's have this debate. Oh, you think like that? You're a misogynist. Oh, you must be gay because you're not attracted to me and I'm a woman. It's like, and I've seen that in like certain podcasts that I've watched. It's like, they'll be like, okay, what would you say is the ideal man or woman? Like, and they have these conversations, and certain people's ideals will be looked at as, okay, like, you're fine. Like, basically, like, on the lines of, like, when they talk about men, they're like, it was funny because the girls, like, consistently were kind of saying, like, you know, obviously that they don't want nobody out of shape. You know, they don't want no broke nigga. Like, like, without saying broke nigga, like, it was just like, I don't want nobody that's, you know, that don't got bread, like, so that's cool. Like, they have their views, their preferences. Now, when the guys started talking about it, and they were like, well, you know, I'm not attracted to bigger women, or maybe I'm not attracted to skinny women, and I want a woman that is like this, that is nurturing, maybe like this, that doesn't act like that. And they're like, they kind of fit into the category of the women they were talking about that they're not attracted to. So it was kind of like they were butting heads and arguing in the podcast, and it just led to like straight chaos. I think you know what podcast I'm talking about. The toxic one. And I was just watching it. I'm like, damn, like, they're all up in arms, bro. They both like spoke their minds, spoke their opinions, but it's like I feel like the men were being limited on what they could say, because you can't say a woman is big. You can't say you're not attracted to a woman because she's big. You can't say you're not attracted to a woman because
with kids or something.
A woman with kids, or this, that, and the third. But it's certain things that are accepted. Like you can tell a man like, I'm not attracted to overweight guy, or I'm not attracted to someone who might not be in the tax bracket that I want. You know what I mean? So it's just like muzzling someone and what they like. It's like, oh, you must be gay. I'm pretty. I'm this and that. I don't want to be with a woman that is on OnlyFans, and they'll start arguing, start going back and forth. It's like, well, why are you insecure? Like, yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, you must be, you, it start being, oh, well, you must be like this and that. Yo, you're a misogynist. You sound like one of those who, and they start going back forward with this banter, bro. But, if everybody just speaks their opinions, has their own, like, everybody's going to have their own ideals of what they want and their preferences. And that's okay.
Yeah, it is.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, you're attracted to what you're attracted to. I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're our own people. We're living in our own worlds, our own realms. And, like, what you perceive as right might not be my perception. But at the same time, you're cool. Like, I'm not going to try to change your world or change things about your world to fit to mine. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, everything's subjective. Everything's preference. Everything. You're on your own. That's what I'm saying. People forget you're on your own world, like, of what you like, what you don't like, what you prefer, what you don't prefer. And, like, who am I to tell you, that's not right, or you're being this, you're being that. Like, who cares? Like, I'm not that person. I'm not living their life. Like, I like what I like. And for me, it's like, me, for me, I can never answer what's your type in women. I don't have a type. I have, like, for me, it's, like, very situational. Like, you can be black, you can be white, you can be Mexican, you can be Indian, you can be Korean, you can be Filipino, you can be anything. Like, for me, it's like, I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. I don't really have a, like, certain type. I don't know. For me, it's like, obviously, I do believe, like, every single person in the world is beautiful. I really truly believe it, because somebody does view you as beautiful. I might not be attractive to you, but I don't think that doesn't mean you're beautiful. You know what I mean? I think there's somebody else in the world that will be attracted to you, that seeks what you have, whatever qualities, energy you bring, personality. Like, you see this, like, I forgot where I was going to go, but that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of things are subjective. It's a preference. And for me, I have my own preference. I have my own qualities that I look for, energy. For me, like, personality, energy. Can I have deep conversation with you? Like, are you down to earth? I don't want maybe somebody who talks about materialistic things. I don't want to get with somebody that talks about celebrities all day. I don't want to talk to somebody that's always trying to go out all the time. Like, what do we celebrate? I'm trying to build something, you know what I mean? I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to, make myself a better person. Can you make me a better person? Can I make you a better person? Can we work through our issues? Can we be better people for the world? Can we create an impact? That's what I'm about. And so, like, I want somebody that fits that. So, and you might be a person that likes, Goyard, MCM, Michael Kors, Christian Dior and all that other type of stuff. And you might be all up in that world and, City Girl and stuff like that, Cardi B. And you should. That's what you like. That's what you like. But if that is what you're all about, though, then I'm good. You might be somebody, I can have conversations with you. You might be attractive. I might just want one thing out of you, though. But it might not be a relationship. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's me. That doesn't mean, is it right? Is it wrong? I don't care what you view as. That's just me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's how you should view it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to push my morals and my values and what I look for in women onto you. But at the same time, it's a preference. My preference. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just me. Yeah. And, like, I think people forget that. People try to. That's what I'm saying. I think it's healthy to have debates, though. Yeah. Is this misogynist? What's the word?
A misogynist?
Misogynist. If you do this and this. I think it's good debates. I like people to have. I think you should have debates on things. I think that's fun. But at the same time, you have to understand, like. Yeah, I forgot how you say that word.
Misogynistic.
Misogynistic?
Is this misogynistic if So.
Somebody will correct this.
Yeah, somebody will, bro.
But like, as you can tell, I don't really give a fuck about that either. There's a reason why I don't really know the word, because I don't really care for labels.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, what's here? Like, you know, what do you really feel? How you truly feel? How do you treat people? I could really give a damn what you like or what you do. For me, it's like, how do you treat people? Like, if I'm a judge, the only thing I'm a judge is how you treat people. That's my biggest thing. Yeah.
How you can treat people that can do absolutely nothing for you. That's one of the things that I weigh myself on, and a little bit of other people. It's like, because people will treat you good when they feel like you have value to them. When you feel like you add value to them or have something for them, or maybe opportunity, or maybe you're nice to your parents because you're expecting them to leave you something, you know, or maybe you're nice to a girl because you feel like one day she's gonna like
open that door.
Yeah, open that door and you guys can date or whatever. But like when you feel like, when you know that someone's maybe not gonna give you what you want, how are you gonna treat that person? Or how are you gonna treat that person that you know can't do nothing for you? And you're in a situation. Are you still gonna hold that door for that person? Are you still gonna have that conversation? Like, are you still gonna do these type of things? Or are you gonna be an asshole? You know what I mean? And I feel like how you treat that person is how you truly are. It's easy to be nice to the president. It's easy to be nice to your boss. How are you gonna treat the people that are still that maybe are on your level, or you feel like are below you? You know what I'm saying? And that speaks volumes to like you at your core. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the thing is, things can always change. Like that one person at your job that you never really gave a lot of energy to, or like that one girl in high school that wasn't, quote unquote, to you pretty or attractive, and you always cold shoulder broed her or whatever like that, and then she comes out of high school and you see her years later, and now she's attractive, now she's bad, and now you're like, what the hell? Who is this? Now you're trying to get into the DMs now. But sometimes, depending on the woman or the man, they'll remember. They always remember. Like, so like later on when you try to hit him up, like, I remember when you didn't want nothing to do with me. Now, because you see this now you want some? Like, bye. And I see that all the time too. And also, like, even at the work level, even on the football field, things change very fast. You know, you can be broke today, rich tomorrow. You can be attracted today, not attracted tomorrow. You can not have no value depending on someone's eyes and their perspective, and then next day they hit the lottery for millions of dollars, and now they're hitting you up to, let's kick it, bro. Like that type of shit. Or now you got a platform, now you got this. Like, we're humans, we have instincts. So like my pretty good instinct is like being able to see opportunist, like a person that's an opportunist. Like, oh, you're trying to gain something from me. And I'm not stupid. I might talk to you. You might have no idea that I know what you're doing, or like you have some type of benefit that you can gain from me. But I'm able, and I'm very nice to not confront you unless it's like disrespectful. And I'm a very confrontational person. Like, yeah, I'm very nice and vulnerable and like sweet and loving, because that's who I truly want to be, and I really feel that to my core. But at the same time, I'm very skeptical too. I could read your energy, and I might read wrong too. So, but I trust my gut instinct. I'm willing to make my mistake on my gut instinct than to just, you know, just go with what like. I don't like to do things based off no logic or no emotional attachment of a gut feeling. I'm not just gonna listen to you. Like, I'm going to listen to you, but I'm going to listen very, very hard to, like, try to catch anything that you're saying that reminds me of a snake. You know, somebody's going to underhand me or try to play me or try to take advantage of me. Because I'm the type of person that will talk to you even if I feel... Actually, you know, it's funny. I don't look at people with, like, value sometimes. I just speak from the heart. You know, I just try to really help people and try to have a conversation with anyone. So... that some people could use that as an advantage, but I've already been through a little bit of life, so like I kind of know the tendencies of other people and with their habits and actions and the way you phrase things and your words, and I'm able to dictate where you're trying to go or where you're trying to gain and what I have to offer if I have to look within that. And so I'm able to distinguish that separation of an opportunist and somebody who's genuine, because you need to have that. You need to be very very aware of yourself and who you surround yourself with, because you never know. Like, some people will take advantage of you, and you have to be very careful of that. Why, you got somebody in your mind?
I'm so sorry. Bruh, I don't know what's wrong with me. I always end up doing that, bro. I don't know why I just try not to laugh. I think about it. It's like in my head, and then I try not to laugh. And then I look at you, and you're starting to lose it. So it's just like, it's hard for me. But to get on back onto the topic, and on the topic of this, and a little bit of what we were talking about earlier, and we were talking about a little bit of the books that we've read. And I actually didn't even know you had read one of the books that I'm reading right now, The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I was explaining to you, one of the chapters and stuff like that, and you kind of went into like how the book that I'm reading, the Mastery of Love, and how The Way of a Superior Man, is kind of like the same guide, different authors, but the same guide of like how you should be. How did the Way of a Superior Man kind of mold and like and help you in a way when you were reading it and going through those tough times when you did read it that first time?
Yeah, the book The Way of a Superior Man kind of showed me kind of how to eliminate the emotions a little bit, like have a structure. Like, it taught me basically a reflection of looking in the mirror because of situations I've been through, and the actions that I would take, or the way I would maybe respond to my woman or my family, or even myself, my goals, work-life balance, relationships. It basically like creates a structure on basically the definition of that book, the philosophy of the way of a superior man. And it kind of shows like, it's a lot of like history in there too, in a way. Like, they reference back in the days of how men approach certain things. It's a very like, it's not like what an alpha is very subjective to each person of what that means. But to me, like, an alpha it's a great quote from I think it was like a Japanese warrior. I think it was based off the book of The Art of War. It goes like, would you rather be the
warrior in the garden or the gardener in a war?
Yeah. So it kind of basically, the book of The Way of Superior Man kind of gave me that philosophy. Like, you need to be able to be dangerous. Like, you need to be able to protect your family when a situation gets thrown at you, whether it's a drunk person, a confrontation at work, somebody being disrespectful, or somebody breaking into your house. You need to be able to defend yourself. And so, like, that book kind of shows you how to be a protector with your that book kind of like showed me like how to be a protector and how to be a nourisher as well. Like, basically tapping in with your masculine and your feminine side. People think that masculine means only men, or like feminine means women. But masculine and feminine, we all have that. Every man, every woman has masculine and feminine. Now, the measurement is subjective to the person, whether you observe somebody or whether you observe yourself. Me, I'm more of a masculine man, but I'm tapping in more towards my feminine side, which is like expressing myself, being vulnerable, crying, having conversations that I would try to avoid, admitting my faults, admitting that I'm wrong, watching a sad movie, or like, tapping into my feminine side to be able to strengthen my masculine side. So like, that book kind of distinguishes masculine and feminine energies and how powerful it is for a man to have both. And because, for me, I kind of experience it with the feedback that I get with myself. Kind of like Drake, right? Drake said in one song, just because I show my emotions doesn't mean that I'm pussy. And the ones who say something about it are not for the guys who don't get pussy, even though it's kind of like split what I just said, but that's Drake lyrics. But basically, like, just because I show my emotion doesn't mean I'm weak. And just because, I'm trying to be more masculine doesn't mean I'm not feminine too. It's like, so there's a lot of like, there's a balance. There's a lot of power in having masculine and feminine energies because you get a lot of respect. A lot of people will respect you because you're being honest and vulnerable and you're being your authentic self. You're still dangerous, but you're still able to cry and share your emotions and go through your emotions. And that's real strength, you know, being vulnerable and like, you know, speaking your truth and not being afraid of what any man or any woman or anybody says about how you carry yourself. So like basically the book of The Way of Superior Man kind of showed me how I should approach my relationships with it, whether if you're a man or you're a woman. Like for me and you know, my situation with my woman, it kind of showed me how to love unconditionally and to be able to understand the psychology and emotions of women, also of a man too, that gets in the way of causing arguments over the smallest things. So like that book kind of gives you like a blueprint on how you should handle yourself with your goals and your work and also relationships and also and actually sex as well. Your approach between sex, not having sex with based off pornography or like transactional sex, but actually being fully present in passionate sex. And like it talks a lot about in that book the way how I feel has less problematic and a full expression of like the human experience and how it should be. How it should be is like a hard way to say it, but not the right word probably I would say. But there's a lot of good philosophies in that book that could remove some of your struggles in relationships in that book that helped me so far.
Okay. And when you're saying the messages in that book and messages in The Mastery of Love, they go together. Is it kind of like the same thing you just talked about? Like a lot of the messages that you were saying that you got from that?
Yeah, if I were to compare both books, one of the things that they always talk about a lot is loving without conditions. Loving yourself and loving that person without conditions. Loving your partner unconditionally. Loving yourself unconditionally and not be too hard on yourself. And a lot of rewiring in those books of what you were taught from movies, pornography, your past relationships, what you heard, seen, whatever, experienced. Like a lot of rewiring, a lot of reframing of your mind of all the toxic things that got into your head of how things should be. And so when I compare those books like hand in hand, it kind of shows you how a authentic person should be. So basically like those books, if I were to compare, is it teaches you how to love yourself and people unconditionally and truly unconditionally. Obviously, it's not going to just happen. Just because you read the book doesn't mean you're going to love people unconditionally immediately. It's a progress and it has a frame of philosophies that can instill in your head. So when those situations come where insecurity comes about, you remember that book of this certain phrase. And you're like, okay, I know in the way of a superior man, if I do this or if I'm letting this bug me, it's because I'm letting that judge in my head because of whatever I learned get in between now. And so that book kind of really shows you like how to be your authentic self. At the end of the day, that's what you should be, not what society says or what anybody says. You should be your authentic self, not be scared of showing emotions, not be scared of, you know, speaking up and being, you know, very opinionated because you're scared of getting canceled. Like, you know, make the mistakes, be okay with the mistakes, be your authentic self. Don't be afraid to be that. And that's kind of like what I get from those two books.
Okay, yeah. And honestly, so far in The Mastery of Love, bro, because I haven't Beyond The Way of a Superior Man, I haven't read that one yet. I started to listen to the audiobook, listen to like about 30-40 minutes of it, of the beginning, but that's one I have to finish. But the Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz, bro, I have to give that like 10 out of 10 so far, bro. I'm on chapter 6, going on chapter 7, and bro, like some of the gems that he's putting in there, bro, kind of make me like readjust my like mentality and like stuff in my relationship. And it's like it kind of makes me look at I like it. It makes me look at myself and my situation and how I react to certain things and it's like I feel like the book is talking to me, like, and like you said, like loving without conditions, like that's one of the things that I was just like, or not carrying like old stuff into your new relationship, and just a whole bunch of gems that was like just flowing through that book, bro. And I'm reading it and I'm like, bro, this dude, and he's like, all his analogies, all his chapters, stuff that he talks about, he talks about stuff in a sense where everybody can understand it. Like, it's not too complex. It's not super long 50-page chapters where you get lost and confused on the stuff. He talks directly about, hey, this is what we're talking about in this chapter. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Here's an analogy. Here's an example. And like everything is like so clear, and all of the points are like hidden with me. And I'll like go back and reread certain chapters just to reassure myself. And even with his other book, it was like that with the 4 Agreements as well. There's stuff about the 4 Agreements where I'll be like, there's certain like toxic traits about me that like I'm trying to fix. And sometimes like I'll have to catch myself like even if it's like replying to a message, or maybe replying to negativity. That's one I struggle with, is replying to negativity. Even at work, like replying to negativity, it's just like kill them with kindness. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like not taking anything personal, you know, not assuming this person his agenda is to attack you or anything like that. But his book, I love his books, bro. Like so far, like that's probably one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, authors.
I said artists.
But no, his son, he has like a few sons. I forgot his name. Luis Miguel Ruiz. I forgot. But he was saying something, or Jose. He was saying something that, like, when people read the book, the son was like, he was like, hey, when I read this book, it just makes so much sense. It's like you're speaking to me. It's like, everything is so true. And Don Miguel Ruiz is like, the reason why it makes so much sense is the reason why it's so easy to digest is because it's integrity talking to integrity. So like when you read the book, it connects because it's truth. Like when the truth, you know, when you hear the truth, you don't question it. Mm-hmm. When you experience the truth, you don't question the truth, really. And so when you read that book, it just connects because there's a lot of truth in there. Because when you actually take a step back and you like be able to like just read or listen, you're able to connect your dots. You're like, oh, damn, like that's what I'm doing, or this is what I did, or this is how I view things. And it's not working out too good right now. So, and in the way they put it out in the book, in the 4 Agreements, Mastery of Love, this whole collection that he has, like each book has a lot of very like relatable and just it's common sense almost. Like when you read it, you're just like, well, fuck, duh, like damn, this makes sense. The reason why it's hard for me to love somebody is because I'm loving them on conditions. If they do this, I'll love them. If they don't cheat on me, I won't cheat on them. Like, you know, these certain things. If they make me better, I'll make them better. If they let me do what I want to do, I'll let them do what they want to do. You know what? Nah, let me do what I want to do, and they can only do certain things. Like that's how it is in a lot of relationships too. Like, you know, what's it called? Do as I say, not as I do. Mm-hmm. And you taught us that as a kid almost, or in school sometimes, or at work. And sometimes you do that to your relationships. And that's where all that problem, the conflict, these little small arguments that make it bigger than what it is, because it's a more deeper root cause. It's not because they didn't flush the toilet. It's because they don't ever listen to you when you tell them to flush the toilet, and they always leave it. Like, you know, it's like it's deeper. It's always deeper. And so like my thing is always like getting to the root cause. In his books, it's always the root cause. It's a behavior, your habit, your perspective, the way you view things that causes this like conflict. That's why there's a lot of power in like a lot of these books. And I'm telling you, you could learn a lot of stuff and you can grow by reading. So like reading certain books like from Don Miguel Ruiz, or like some of these self-help books that people like to shit on. Like there's a lot of good stuff in there that could really help you and like transcend your relationships within yourself and people.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, he one of them ones. I'm not gonna lie, because if I'm reading your book, bro, I don't like I've never been the type to like actually like just sit down and just read hella books. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, it just all depends on the author and like my passion for the book. So like the self-help books, I can read those books all day. But if it's like a book about goddamn Christopher Columbus
Yeah.
and how he was such a great person. I can't. I'm not passionate about that, bro. I can't read that. Or something about my culture. Oh yeah, I can read a book about that. Or something about my history, my real history. I can read books about that or anything like that. It's just like it's hard for me to be like passionate about like a topic or something that, and to be completely honest, I don't care about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that this, you know, this author, he's definitely you know, sounds like a great person and someone that I would definitely want to talk to or even interview one day.
That would be dope.
That would be dope, bro.
Hey, we could get him on.
Bro, what?
Yeah, I seen him get on other podcasts too. We could.
Bro,
That would be dope to do.
one day.
Don Miguel Ruiz. That would be clean. He's still alive, so we
Oh,
gotta
man.
get him.
I know we gotta get him while he's doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, one question I wanted to ask you. So, in these books, Loving Without Condition, what was the point in, you know, any of your relationships that you have, whether with family or in a, you know, in your love life, where you've kind of clicked to you like, dang, loving this person without condition, loving this person unconditionally is actually beneficial for both of us, and changing that and loving to that extent makes everything go smoother from you reading these books and changing your way of thinking.
Yeah, I think about it right now. It came straight up to my mind too. Like when you love people unconditionally, it removes the expectations that you're trying to force on somebody that's not them. Like sometimes you get in relationships because you want this person to be this. You want this person to have this type of status or this philosophy. You want this person to let you do whatever the hell you want to do, but yet you only want them to do certain things. And so like when you like love people unconditionally, what the book taught me and from reading it and my own experience, it taught me to like honestly create less friction in a relationship. It taught me to actually love the person and to like not judge them and to not make them feel bad for a mistake they make or something like that, because then they also do that back to me. So like it basically like you kind of remove the expectations of what you're trying to force on somebody. You know, you can't force a cat to be a dog, you know what I mean? Like you can't. And sometimes we do that in relationships. We try to treat a dog like a cat and try to have the expectations of a cat for a dog. Like I'm not trying to like, you know, label people like that, but like that's literally what we do sometimes. We try to create people to be this image when they're not that. So when you do that, you completely remove from loving them. And like people have like a lot of value. People have like a lot of strengths that you might not even realize. Like there's a lot of things that you might not even notice that actually help strengthen your weaknesses or like, you know, your parts where you're not balanced. Like loving somebody unconditionally does show you what you also didn't even know you needed. So it kind of removes like the stress, the conflict. You're able to go to the movies and go to the bar or go to the beach. You're able to go to the park. You're able to play a video game together. You're able to like do all these random things when you love somebody unconditionally, because then they will want to do what you want to do because you enjoy it and they want to have, you know, share a good time with you. Like, so basically like, for me, like loving people unconditionally, like really showed me, it took so much stress off, like this conflict, these arguments, like me trying to force somebody to be a certain way. It really just made my relationship so much better, like letting go of all that stuff.
Yeah, facts. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. You know, I appreciate you. Like always, we're having good conversation. You know, we were talking longer than we did the podcast, but you know, it's always good, you know, catching up and being able to have conversations on and off the camera. You know what I mean? All it is, you know, when we having these deep conversations, only difference is press and record. That's the only difference. This is like regular shit that we talk about, bro. And, you know, we appreciate you guys, you know, always being there and tapping in with us, reposting our videos, subscribing to us. And, you know, we genuinely love and appreciate every single one of you guys. And thank you for the 300 subscribers. 3,200 on IG. How many on TikTok now?
Almost 9,000.
You said almost 9?
Almost 9,000. Yeah.
Almost. Oh shit.
Yeah, almost there.
Almost 9,000 on TikTok. We love and appreciate y'all, man. So, once again, thank y'all for tapping in with us, and we'll see you next time on Self Revelations Podcast.
Sheesh.